Rainy day pickup here, but this bike is really cool and very rare to find. This is a 1976 Honda CR250 Elsinore. I've wanted this bike for a very long time. You never see these for sale, and if they are, they're like 10 grand. So this is a true 1976 Elsinore, and it is in very good condition. Check this out. No rips in the seat, just a couple scratches on the gas tank from riding it. Original gas cap on there. Tires are fresh, looking good. Not a single dent in the pipe. I believe the frame paint is all original. Has all the plastics on there. It's got the rubber straps there. Chrome is all nice. But yeah, this is a 100% complete bike except for the silencer, which almost none of them have. It usually bolts up to right here. You can see there's a bolt hole. But that's the first thing they would take off of these is the silencer. And you see these for sale all the time without that silencer. I think the silencer alone goes for like $1,500. And if you look here on the rim, you can see you've got the original stickers on there. So these are the original rims. The back shocks do not look original. These are typically red down in here and silver up here, so I think these are aftermarket shocks. But I think that's really the only aftermarket thing on it, and possibly the number plate. But that might be original as well, just with the graphics off of it. But yeah, I mean, it's in immaculate shape for the year, and I believe it's untouched, you know, all original, not painted or anything. But yeah, it's extremely rare to find a 1976 Elsinore in this condition. But this is a crazy good find. I got this thing for $2,200. The seller of this bike said he did have it running at one point, but the kickstart lever doesn't grab anymore, he said. He's not sure what is going on in there. He said he replaced it at one point, but now it doesn't work. So he said it should be a simple fix, but he doesn't know for sure. I was pretty happy with this find. We'll get this thing off the truck and take a closer look at it and attempt to get this thing running today. Should be a very fun project. Can't wait to rip this thing around. Alright, little walk around. Look how awesome this bike looks. So, I broke off the perch lever when I was loading the bike, so the seller gave me a new one, so we'll try to fit that up. But I mean, it's pretty clean for 1976. Not too bad. Keyhin carb in there, original Keyhin, original kickstand on there. Doesn't get much better than that. See the seat, 0 rips. Gas tank looks pretty nice. That is a sharp looking bike. Look at that thing. Alright, we got her in the garage. Let's start tearing into it and see if we can fix up this bike. So first thing I want to do is quick fix the clutch perch here. That broke off, like I said, when I was loading up the bike, so let's do that. That's just bothering me. Alright, here's the new clutch perch. Alright, clutch is fixed. We'll kind of go through everything here. Just check it over. See if there's any gas in it. Yep, little premix in there, I can smell it. This even has the little grommet for the frame right there to keep water out. Strain a little bit and see what that looks like. You can see that fits right into the frame like that. Pretty cool. But let's quick look at the oil. Check that out. Get a little dipstick in there. Alright, so brand new oil in there. So seller must have put brand new oil in after taking off the side cover and trying to fix this, which he said it worked for a little bit and stopped working. So I'm not sure what's going on there. He said he possibly forgot a washer that was supposed to be on there, but he does not know for sure. I believe that's the original seat on there. This is Honda on it. Pretty sure. There are a couple other staple marks right here, so maybe not. But yeah, 0 rips in the seat cover. So either way, it looks nice. It's down in here. Looks like there's a couple mice living in there. So we'll get that out. Alright, so to get these off, just push like that. Alright. Let's get the original rubbers holding on the plastics. That is pretty crazy. Okay, you can see the rubber strap there. Huh. It's all original. It's amazing. Does this not come off of here? Oh, looks like the other side you have an access port. Yeah, look. Huh. Got a little mouse nest in there. Let's get that vacuumed out. Looks like it was starting to chew through the foam right there. You can see. Looks like it was clawing at it. Alright, get the vacuum on. go. It's coming out. Ooh. Yikes, good thing we took that out. That's just packed full. Alright, I noticed there wasn't much oil on it, so we're gonna oil this up with some foam filter oil. Doesn't look bad, the foam's not breaking down or anything. And then we'll put a little grease on the outside of this to really seal that. Make sure we're good there. Looks good. I'll rub that in. To seal a little better. All right, no more mouse nest in the air box, so we can reinstall the air filter. Get the air filter in here. Curious to see if this bike shifts through all the gears, so let's just quick test that. We're in neutral right now. Feels pretty good. There's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I think there's only 5 gears. Yep, shifts through all the gears smoothly. All right, so the seller said that the spark plug wire was a little short on this bike. I think from so many people cutting it down over the years. So let's take a look at that. Hopefully it still has spark here. Plug is tight. I'm sure the ignition system on these are non-existent. So I'm really hoping it has spark. Plug looks a little white for my liking. It's not super brown. Just gonna put a little bit of oil down the cylinder. Alright, so let's see if we can get spark on this thing. We have to spin over the back wheel fast enough to make spark. So we'll put this thing into 5th gear. Let's see. Oh yeah. Good spark. Hope you guys can see that. That's pretty good spark. So we have spark. All right, so we saw a good spark on the spark plug. Let's test and see if this spark plug is fouled. So this thing goes up to 9,000 RPM. And if we see consistent blue spark throughout the whole 1,000 RPM, we have a good spark plug. So we can put this in right here, turn this on, and you guys can see the plug light up as we go to 9,000 RPM. So turn this on, you can see the spark. We're at 2,000, 2,400, 2,800, 3,300, 4,200, 5,000 RPM, 7,000 RPM, nice blue consistent spark, 8,000 RPM, 9,000 RPM. And you can see it's not shutting off the machine. It's consistent. It's continuous blue spark. We know it's not fouled. We know we can use it. So we can turn that off. You guys wanted to see what it looks like with a fouled plug. So we can do that next. So this one appears to have good blue spark, but when you put it in the machine, check this out. We'll turn this on, and you can see it's sparking, good blue spark. It's a little sporadic at times. We're at 22 and it shuts off, see that? So for a brief second, it's not getting good spark and it shuts off the machine. 24, 26, 32, 36. Oh, see, shut off the machine again. Now we're not getting anything, and that's what it does. So this spark plug is fouled out. It's no good. All right, so far we have good spark. We can't test compression until that right side kicker is fixed. So let's go fix that, and then we'll test compression after that. All right, let's drain this oil out. Drain plug is right there, you can see. Looks like a 17 millimeter. Let's see if we're right. Yep. Yeah, that looks like good oil. I mean, that's perfectly clear. Coming out. So yeah, we can just keep that oil, put that back in after we fix this kickstart issue. But we'll let that drain. Make sure there's no metal chunks in there. All right, oil looks pretty good. No metal chunks in there. I see a couple very tiny metallic flakes, but yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. Just put that off to the side. Now we have to get these bolts off around the cover here. These are always fun. If the seller already had this cover off, these should be fairly easy. Yeah, okay. There we go. So far they've been pretty easy. It's a little tougher. I want to strip these out at all. pouring out a bunch of oil. Looks like our spring maybe broke. Possibly. Cover looks good, not all chewed up or anything. Gasket looks good. So, let's just take this gear out and see what's going on. There's a washer behind there too. That goes into there. All the gears look good. None of the teeth are missing. Clutch looks good. Crank gear looks good. Case looks good. Nothing on the starter gear here. Yeah, all the teeth on the clutch are good. Basket looks really good. No wear whatsoever. So we're gonna look at the diagram and see what's going on. You can see the bolt right there. It's a little worn off. All right, so here is the kickstart mechanism. I looked at the diagram, and this is how you put this together. So the spring goes on like this. There's gonna be a washer like that. Take that off. This bar comes out like this. There's gonna be a washer right here, thin washer, like that. And then this comes apart like this. There's going to be a washer behind there, like that. That washer was missing, so that was part of the problem. This looks pretty good. There's a couple little worn pieces that were broken off. One right there, one right there. But the rest of it looks pretty decent. So it should be grabbing on the good splines, and it wasn't grabbing at all. So what this looked like before I fixed it, this was flat like this, and it wasn't popping up like that. And I thought maybe centrifugal force allowed that to pop up, but it's not. It's that spring right around here. And that was super loose. So I took that spring off. It's like a C-clip spring. And I tightened it. So what I did was stretch it the other way. And that tightened this up a little bit. I put it back on, and now this springs up like that. So what that allows it to do is when you put this in here, you can see now you have to push that down, and it will pop back up into those grooves. And now it'll kickstart. See? This way it spins, this way it'll kickstart. So the engine can just spin normally that way. But if you kick it this way, it'll grab and spin that gear. So the problem was that that little C-clip spring right here lost tension, and it allowed that to sit flat. So that was never coming up to contact these splines to allow it to turn. So we'll probably have to buy a new little C-clip spring thing. I think they still sell them. Because it probably loses tension over time, then eventually it stops working as this compresses down like this. See that? It wears out that spring. So at least we fixed it for now. We're going to put it back on the bike like that, and we'll see how that works. So now we can get this whole mechanism back in. So you've got that big washer on the back there, And this little piece is going to sit on that bolt right there, so it's going to go like this. Just like that. So that goes like that, that bottom's out against that, and then this little spring goes on like this. A little loop goes over that part of it, and then you can tension it. Alright, so you can see one part of the spring goes right there, the other one right there. And now, let's see if we can kick this thing over. It's up to hold it tight here. It's working good. So you can see it's kicking over pretty decent. Definitely works better than it did. Alright, get the kick lever back on here. Looks like it's in gear. Sounds pretty good to me. Alright, now that the kickstart mechanism is temporarily fixed, we can test compression. See what we get here. Hopefully that kickstart mechanism holds up, and we'll see what we get. So we're hoping for over 150. Man. Sliding off here. Kicking it over. I want to break the kickstart mechanism more than it already is. Alright. Wow. That's pretty good. About 180 pounds of compression for an old 250. That is plenty of compression. Alright, so this thing should fire up with a carb clean. So let's move on to the carb, get that out, clean that up. Alright, let's get this carb off. The intake manifold looks really good, no rips in that. The boot going up to the air filter also looks good. No rips in that either. Fairly easy carb to get off. Right out in the open. We'll see what that premix looks like in there. See if the petcock works too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Make sure there's no water in there. Doesn't look like it. It looks pretty good. This one's pretty flexible, actually. Alright. Slide is working. Cool. Choke. Looks like that's working. Meter looks good. Alright, carb is out. Let's start digging into that. See what we find. It was definitely getting gas to the carb. You can see it's still pouring out. Lots of it pouring out now. Looks pretty clean in there. There's a little piece of something in there. Get that out. That looks pretty good. We're running for the main jet here. $148 for the main, and that was clear. All right, take a look at the pilot. Try to get the float out too right away. Looks like a little tricky to get out. There we go. Pin came right out, luckily. Float looks good. Needle looks good. No wear at that tip. We'll take off the seat right away and just make sure that's not leaking out of that O-ring. If it's tight in there, that usually means it's good. Get that out. Feels pretty good. Take that out. Let's take the seat out of there. O-ring looks pretty decent. Probably just leave that. Check the pilot. Most likely this pilot's clogged. Let's see. Yeah, pilot's clogged. Pretty good. So there's an air screw right here on it. See when he turns out. 3/4 of a turn out, about. Get the little spring out of there. That looks good. Alright, that's basically the whole car. Pretty simple. There's the choke. It's moving up and down. That looks good too. We'll blow through everything, make sure everything's clean, put this back on, and attempt to start this bike for the first time. Alright, we got the carburetor back in. Pilot jet's now clear, so it should fire right up with the new carb cleaning. Let's get some oil in this thing and then we'll attempt to fire it up. All right, so there's a little oil check bolt right there, a little 10 millimeter. We're gonna take that out and then fill the oil up until that oil starts dripping out of that hole. Should take about 1.1 quarts is what the manual says. Anything? All right, we can keep going here. Still nothing. There it goes. So, plug that off. Hard to get to. All right, we've got great compression, we have great spark, and now we're getting fuel to the carb. So in theory, it should fire right up. Let's see what happens here. We'll choke it. Turn the fuel on. There we go. This might be the first time I ever hear a 1976 Honda CR250 start up. idling nice and low. Running great. Holy cow. She fired right up. Man, does that sound good. It's really loud without the silencer. Like extremely loud. I don't know how people wrote it like that, but man, it sounds good. No knocking in the engine. No weird sounds coming from the engine. It did backfire a little bit when I kicked it over. It would stop like right here and then kick my foot off. But man, she fires right up and sounds great. Idles perfectly, nice and low. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. Now we have to see if this thing moves. All right, made it up to the land. We are going to be testing out the 1976 Honda CR250 Elsinore today. I've never ridden one of these, so it should be interesting. Hopefully the kickstart lever holds up and we can get this thing started today. So let's see what happens. Let's get this thing unloaded, take it for the first ride. Well, back from the first ride, and I'm pretty impressed. It was running perfectly. So this bike is all good to go. We got the Kickstarter working somewhat. It strips out every once in a while, but it still kicks over. So I'm guessing that little spring we need to replace. But other than that, it's running great. Driving great, both brakes work, everything's working flawlessly, idles perfectly, and usually starts first kick every time if you can get a good kick. So yeah, it's a really nice bike, and it's not every day you get to pick up a 1976 Elsinore. There's just not many left in this condition. And yeah, it's really cool to have it on the channel and be able to show you guys the process of picking it up, going through the machine, getting it to start up, and taking it for the first ride. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.